you?
Hello, I'm doing great. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Good to see you live in person.
I know. It's always been like remote. So
Exactly. This is why I like doing this, because I get to meet folks like you in person and talk about what you just talked about in there, which was a really great presentation. It was entitled "Digital Transformation is the Strategy, Relationship Transformation is the Goal." Can you give us a quick overview before we dive into a couple of the nuggets that I took out of there?
Absolutely. Many credit unions, they're focused in, and necessarily so, on their digital strategies. But what we're finding in our research is that we still need to have that people element that's supporting that friction that's happening in those digital channels. And so it's important as you're going down that route of digital strategies that there also is a parallel people strategy to support those channels.
Yeah, it's kind of like it was almost like a recipe. You have the digital stuff up front, but you got to have the people to support it, correct?
Have the people to support it, yes, right. And so the other thing that I think that's significant is credit unions specifically really living a unique and recognizable difference. And so one of the key things is that as they embark on their digital strategies, even if they succeed successfully in a way that puts them in a strong place, they're still just kind of coming up to even as it relates to what's already out there and consumers are experiencing. So the real differentiator is the people.
Right, exactly. That's what I was going to bring up next, because we're all so, I don't say focused, maybe obsessed with being digital today, because you're hearing about digital transformation journeys and all this type of stuff. But you kind of turned it on its head and saying, hey, you know what? Digital is important, but people is the differentiator, or are the differentiator for credit unions. Why?
Mm-hmm. So the digital strategies is really just the ticket to be in the game and to stay in the game. What is unique and what's going to stand out is their ability to deliver on their products, their processes, their channels, deliver through the people. And so time and time again, and we look at what we just saw in their Navy Credit Union, time and time again, those that have already been down the path on the digital journey are recognizing we've got to really step back and we've got to now deploy the people to deliver that experience through those channels and to support that.
I'm glad you brought up.
Consumers are demanding. Actually.
I know, and I'm glad you brought up Navy, because that stunned the room, because it was a KMPG study? Exactly.
Yes.
It was a study that you said the ink is not even dry yet on this study, and it was a study. Well, I'll let you tell it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So this is the first time that a credit union has hit that. Amazon actually took 10th place. Were you surprised?
A little bit, yeah.
I was too. Mm-hmm. And so Amazon took 10th place, USAA second. And Navy first. And so, one of the things that was identified in that process of what made them top in the customer experience with KMPG, and that is very specifically two things: analytics. They had voice of the member analytics to, I'll say it this way, inform their strategies and change their practices in the moment. They also recognized that the customer experience or the member experience and the emotional connection with members is still a top priority. Yes. And so, there's a Navy is this competition for everyone, right? And so when you see the best of the best are still focusing in on that people side of things, well, I think it's a little sounding of the alarm.
It is. I agree. Totally agree with you. Let's see here. A couple of other things. The brand, you talked time and time again about the brand standard. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Certainly. So, you really are not going to know how to get to the desired state that you need to be in terms of delivering service to your member unless you know what that needs to look like. So the brand standard is to say, what is our brands? How do we live this out? And so if there is no defined, specific, behavioral-focused brand that's established, then basically employees are going to deliver service any way they subjectively feel that they want to in that particular moment. That's what's driving away members. That's what's causing the attrition. That's what's compromising revenue growth and profitability. financial consumers and consumers really of digital, and all consumers today are having some fantastic experiences around service. And when they come to a credit union, we know, long time philosophy, people helping people, they're expecting that. If their brand promises we're going to deliver a personalized experience to you, and that doesn't happen, it really drives the satisfaction very low. So it starts with saying, what is our brand? What does it look like? What should it feel like? What should we sound like? Measuring to that particular brand standard and delivering on that again and again and again.
I think it boils down to you got to walk your talk, basically.
Oh, that's a good way to say it. We could have saved me a few words.
A little bit, a couple of slides, but yeah, it's walking your talk. So where do we go from here with all of this stuff? What advice do you have for credit unions to kind of have that gold standard for their employees and then to meet that for the members out there? Because like you said, I mean, the customer experience today is so phenomenal. You would think the Amazon would be higher up there because
it would be.
It's just. But anyway, I digress a little bit.
Right?
What advice do you have for credit out there?
I think one of the first things that I would say is that they have to work with leading indicators of what's going on in the live environment, not lagging indicators. So the balance sheet is a very lagging indicator. Whether or not the scorecards hit the numbers, that's a lagging indicator. The leading indicator is what's happening in the moment. And the only way to really know that is through the voice of the member. So find a way to definitively measure concisely, concretely, actionably at the behavioral level the very behaviors that are happening in that moment and change there. Don't wait. That would be my advice.
All righty. Great message to end on. Thank you so much, Rhonda. Appreciate the time as always.